You know, guys, it's been a few videos since I've actually talked about something specifically going on in Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2, and that's just because that's the way seasonal content makes things for content. We have things to talk about for a couple of weeks, and then for the next month and a half to 2 months, there's absolutely nothing going on. But as the cycle goes on, we're back at this point where there is something to talk about, and that comes in the form of the Season 3 roadmap. Now, currently, by the time I'm recording this video, it's not actually technically available. It's only available in Portuguese, and as a Spanish speaker, I know a few things going on in here, but I don't speak Portuguese. I'm so sorry. So if I get some things wrong, whenever the English version comes out, I'll be reading from that instead. But for now, this is all I got. You guys already know the Scatmaster's stance on seasonal content and seasonal updates. You guys know I'm not a fan of it, but I also will admit that upon first glance of this thing, it looks like there is some pretty good content coming in here. But it isn't until you look at it for the second or third or fourth or fifth time that you realize the only reason people are gassing this up is because this is the shit we should have had at launch, or by Season 1, or by Season 2. Now that it's been 6 months and we've been drained, we look like fucking raisins out here, all of a sudden we get a sufficient amount of content, or at least that's what it seems like, and now everybody's back to praising Activision and COD and Infinity Ward, and the Scatmaster's job here today is to show you guys that that's not supposed to be the way it is. If you're a 6v6 fan specifically, then this video here is for you, and I want to make this very clear because I'm gonna put it up right about now. And I just want you guys to understand that that entire left column with Warzone, I don't give a flying fuck about. I understand there's been some changes to the plating system. I understand that there's a lot more content coming into Warzone. I'm not a fan of it, I'm sorry, so I'm not going to delve into it at all. When it comes to the middle column, we have two characters from the campaign that, to be completely honest, I don't care about. There's the Battle Pass, which is a given, and then we have the weapons. We have the Intervention coming in under a different name. I don't know why, but we have the Cronin Squall. I don't know what that is, and I don't really care. And then there's 4 bundles at the bottom that I kind of want to highlight, but I feel like I need to make a separate video just for these guys. But just to let you guys know right now, of those 4 bundles, do you know which one I like? Absolutely fucking none of them. You know why? Because they're fucking stupid. Especially the Hopping Mad one. To all of you gooch lickers that love this game because of its realism and you want it to be a milsim, please look at the bottom right bundle and justify that for me, please and thank you. But now guys, we're finally ready to talk about the actual Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2 multiplayer content. And I'll say this again guys, it looks like a lot. It looks like you'll be satisfied until you start to read between the lines and you realize that this is some oversaturated bullshit that is not actually going to get you satisfied with the quality of the game. It's not going to change anything. You're not going to feel like there's more things to do, even though there kind of is. If you're a specific fan of something like 6v6, you're not looking forward to this because it's not that impressive. I'm going to try to break this down as best as I can, so try to follow along. But we're going to start with the first 6v6 map, and it's called PELAYO'S Lighthouse. Now, I've seen some gameplay of this already. It's already been out. Apparently, there's some reused assets from Estate, from MW2 that's going to be in this map, but it's not going to be an actual remaster of Estate. And to something like that, I'm actually not too opposed to. The problem arrives when you realize that this map seems to be the only playable 6v6 map that we're going to get in this season. Because the next map is called Black Gold, which is also supposed to be a 6v6 map, except here's the catch. You can only see with the fucking night goggles. It's night vision. The same way we had it back in MW 2019, and I know some people were a fan of that. I'm gonna be straight up honest, guys. It was a cool idea on paper. It was something to be interested in, to look forward to, but when you finally played it, unless you were playing like fucking Infected, the shit was not fun. It's a cool gimmick because in campaign it works well, but we're talking about an actual multiplayer experience, and in nighttime, where you need night vision goggles to see in black and green, that shit does not go well. It's not a good idea, and in MW 2019, they completely scrapped it, and they removed it, and they stopped producing it. You know why? Because so little people actually enjoyed it. So what the fuck tells you to try it again in your next game? If you have any level of common sense, don't fucking do it again if it failed the first time so miserably. The next one is called Satik Cave Complex, and this is a battle map. as a 6v6 player, how consistently are you playing battle maps? Not very often. Same with the map right beneath it, Rohan Oil Fields. I don't give a fuck about it, I'm sorry. Then there's the Alboran Hatchery. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called, but that's coming in season, and it's not specified if it's a battle map, a 6v6 map, or a gunfight map. We have the gunfight maps, and we have 4 of them right now at least. There's Black Site, and I'm not too sure what map that's coming from, but then we have Exhibit, which is obviously from Museum. We have Shipment, and wow, I wonder where this is coming from. Anybody want to take a guess what Shipment is based off of? And then we have Alley, which I also hope is original, but let's be honest, it's probably not. And that's what we have in terms of maps. I'm not going to go over the other things because I don't really care about co-op or spec ops or anything like that, but this is something that I did in my last video talking about the Season 2 roadmap. I'm gonna take all the content we have in terms of maps for MW2's multiplayer, and I'm gonna condense it into things that are actually gonna be used and actually gonna be played and are actually significant to the game, or at least interesting for people who are into 6v6 content. Are you guys ready to see what it looks like now? Look at this. The Lighthouse can stay, Black Gold's not likely going to be playable, we don't care about the battle maps, and there's a question mark for the last map. When it comes to gunfight maps, they're cool, it's a cool gimmick to have in the game, but now you're just splitting the player base that's already lowered, and again, you're reusing content. So when it comes to me, when it comes to the Scatmaster, and my personal opinion on Season 3's roadmap, I'm gonna tell you guys the fucking truth. It's garbage. And you might think that's a little harsh, but you know what's harsh? Waiting 6 months for this. To the gooch lickers that are gonna defend this, to the gooch lickers that love MW2, to the gooch lickers that are gonna try to come after me for saying my opinion, let me ask you something. You think this looks good, right? You think this is good. Maybe I think it's good. Let's pretend the Scatmaster thinks this is good. Do you prefer having a season like this 6 months after launch, or by Season 1? Tell me which one you prefer. Do you understand my point? The point is, even if you think this is sufficient content that's gonna satisfy your needs as a player for a game that you paid $70 for, would you rather have waited 6 months to obtain this after 6 months of bullshit, or would you prefer to get it by Season 1? That's the point of this, guys. There's so many things wrong with seasonal content, and this proves one part of that. The fact that sometimes we need to wait a significant amount of time, an unnecessary amount of time, for something that we might deem as worthy or satisfying. Because I could have told you guys that I'm looking forward to this season and that it looks good and I'm hoping it comes out great, but there's still something severely wrong about it. The fact that we're waiting 6+ months for it. It's not just one thing that makes seasonal content bad. There's like a dozen different things, and I've talked about a lot of them. And this one, when it comes to the timing of when we get these maps and when we get this content, that's part of the problem. As of right now, there's a lot of shit popping off on Twitter about this, and people are finally starting to freak out. And there's one thing that I forgot to mention because, again, I could only see it in fucking Portuguese, but now that there's more information in English, I want to backtrack a little bit and tell you guys about something that's also been kind of bothering me. There's more information on Black Cell, and this comes from Charlie Intel. Black Cell is the brand new Battle Pass upgrade. It costs $29.99 and includes a variety of bonus content. But the Black Cell fully replaces the bonus Battle Pass bundle option. There will be just the base 1100 COD points offer, or the Black Cell offering with Season 3. And there is a lot of issues with that. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna have to talk about this in a video probably tomorrow because this is some fucking bullshit. Today I need to talk about the roadmap. If you're somebody who strictly plays battle maps, maybe you're satisfied. If you're somebody who's been looking forward to gunfights, if you saw my last video, you understand how unoriginal it is and how lazy it is that they're adding gunfight in this late into the game's life cycle. 6 months after launch. Gunfight in MW 2019 came out before launch, and it was a massive success. And when it comes to the 6v6 players, we have one playable map, one map at nighttime, and you're probably not going to enjoy it if you didn't enjoy it in MW 2019, which was a majority of us, and then a question mark that we don't necessarily know yet. Are you satisfied with shit like that? And on top of that, we have a broken battle pass system that was never broken in the first place. If it's not broken, don't fucking fix it. People were paying for hold on, let me cut myself off. I'm sorry. I can't talk about this yet. It'll be next video, alright? I'm sorry. And here's another thing that I'm also gonna have to talk about in a separate video, but you guys understand that battle map Satik Cave Complex? You guys know what that is, right? It's fucking Afghan from MW2. If we're getting Afghan back as a ground war battle map, why the fuck could we not just have it as a 6v6 map as well? It's a free map to insert into the game. If you're hyped up for this season just off of the roadmap, I agree that on paper, it looks like a sufficient amount of content, but we could have had that 5 months ago. There is going to be a lot more to talk about, guys. I'm gonna go in depth on a lot of different things in the next coming days. A lot of this is unnecessary, guys. What I'm looking at when I see this roadmap is just a convoluted pile of shit, all mushed together, and now people think it looks good because there's a lot of it. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but 6 pounds of shit spread out across the floor is the exact same thing as 6 pounds of shit in one single spot. I'm sorry to tell you the truth, but that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think the roadmap actually looks good, and do you think season 3 is gonna be good? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles. It's been a very long time since